Get ready, Chiefs Kingdom, to unleash your passion and excitement for all Chiefs content. With the up-and-coming sports media company giving you all of the Chiefs coverage. We are raising the decibels and embracing the community of Chiefs Kingdom. Elevate your fandom and join our team who loves your team. Red Kingdom Media.
What is going on, everybody? I'll give it a couple more minutes to let some more people trickle in. But welcome to the, I'm not even going to call it an episode because this is barely a series at this point. Essentially, I've seen how active the Chiefs Kingdom seems to be around a mid-afternoon time. And I thought I would just kind of be a little experimental, start up a live stream and see what we get. I've got a few topics that I intend to go through, and depending on other people's engagement and questions that they may have, we may pivot or end up hitting one of those already. I also will hear very soon from our main man, Daily Dale. So look out for him really soon. I'll add him once I see him. Yeah, we are going. Let's do this. Let's see. What do we want to talk about? I think we got to go over Brett Veach's press conference comments today, because it was about 24 hours ago yesterday that we saw a press conference for Brett Veach go live on their YouTube channel. And I think it's kind of unexpected. I don't think any of us saw that press conference coming, at least with the timing that it did. But he had some comments. The one that we're obviously got to start with is the Chris Jones talks. So we had heard the last couple of days prior to this, and Andy Reid's comment in his coach's interview, that they weren't really communicating with Chris Jones. At least there weren't that much communication between Chris Jones and the team. So that was obviously discouraging. But we've changed to they've at least talked over the last few days. So I think he tried to lead on with some optimism, but I don't think it's coming across that way because of how long these contract talks have gone on for. I mean, I think most of the kingdom assumed it would get done by March, and the sentiment was, if you couldn't work it out with them, we should have surprised us all at the trade in March. I see parts of the kingdom like encouraging for a Chris Jones trade, especially right now, and I don't see the value. I don't see the reason for that. Sure, Chris Jones is doing some things that we wouldn't expect, but Chris Jones is a different cat. That's the point. So we're not debating whether Chris Jones loves this team or, is dedicated to this team. That he communicates nothing else but that. He's been trolling a lot over the last couple months, liking some going to the Raiders fan fic tweets and telling an old lady on Twitter to suck it. But that's just Chris. That's just Chris Jones. He's a troll of a guy, and Kingdom can have their thoughts about him now when he's this way, but when he's playful in like the post game conferences or in any video that like put together, or the local commercials around here for the McDonald's and DirecTV with Travis Kelce. I know when that came up, people thought, oh, this is it. Travis is going to finally talk some sense into Chris Jones. He's going to come back. But that was probably filmed a long, long time ago. Not relevant to right now. But we saw today, or at least we're assumed to believe it based on his Instagram, that he's back in Miami again. We thought that there was we thought there was a chance that he would, while he and his agents, we can't really confirm if he was even here, but his agents were tagged around here. So you would have assumed if Veach's comments that, oh, we're getting stuff done, we're getting closer, he should be here on week 1, then, why isn't he in Kansas City then? And if you think that he's going to be ready for week 1, which is exactly Harrison Butker days from now, where is he? Where is he going to find this ramp up time? I mean, there isn't one. He's going to start slow, if at all, and there's a chance that this keeps going for the worse. And I'm not rooting for it. I don't want it to happen. I'm trying to stay hopeful that we're going to get something done with him. But it's definitely turned. I don't think it's turned fan base wise, but like my confidence, my like desire for this to come true, my manifesting of it, like clearly I don't know something that is happening in this negotiation, and I don't know who's playing the highest card. I don't know who's demanding the most out of the other party. $30 million, I think every fan would have said, give it to him. I don't care. We'll figure it out. Cap will resolve itself. It always does. The 177 in 2020 to signing Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes to their long-term deals. So money can be spent if they play with the cap and play with the money properly. But the Chiefs definitely failed on that part. They had ample time to work this out. I don't think Chris Jones was asking for more right now than he was at the start of this negotiation period. If he wanted $30 million and the Chiefs weren't ever going to do that, I think they would have just maybe traded him then, or it would have leaked out. Oh, he wants way too much or something. I'll leave it with maybe I'm a little bit more hopeful than I was last week, but my hope has kept dropping more and more ever since he wasn't at training camp at all. We just saw today the tight end for the Minnesota Vikings, TJ Hawkinson, just get his massive tight end deal, which we'll talk about here in a transition. But that came out that he was holding in with like some very minor injuries, and he's got his contract, and he got the highest paid tight end, just over Darren Waller now, 17.15. So I think everyone would have assumed that he would have done a hold in like TJ just did, because he would have been around the team. He would have saw what was going on. They would have been more buddy, talking it out, and the sides would have come together and figure out who was asking for too much and who was just playing hardball and kiss and make up. But it started and then became a holdout, became missing preseason games to no on a did not report list for the regular season. And Beach's comments still say that he's meant to be back within 1 week and playing. I think he's just trying to calm us down about the situation. But because he would never say, "Oh yeah, things are bad," or "We're definitely not working it out." I don't know. They wouldn't go that far. They wouldn't say something that drastic. But you do have to think that Chris Jones had tweeted, "Oh, I'm going to wait till week 8 because it'll still accumulate me a season and then I can bounce." But he's still franchisable next year, even if he comes back for week 8 and completes the season like he would want to. So he's not getting what he wants out of that after this year either, because the Chiefs can continue to play hardball and say, "We're not going to give you this much money, but we're going to keep you because you are still valuable to this team, and we'll figure out the number to keep you for the amount of time we want to keep you, or figure out who will give us something for you." I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this anymore. I'm still trying to be on Chris Jones' side. I'm still trying to be optimistic that the situation will resolve, because I think both parties, they see too much. It's too mutually beneficial for both parties to not work something out. And not only for that reason, but the fact that Chris Jones, the way his contract is right now and the way the Chiefs salary cap is set up right now, they don't have any money for anything. And the Chiefs love to have that extra like 8 to 10 million in just sitting cap in case they need to save for a big time injury replacement or a free agent mid-season acquisition, So we'll figure out how this goes. I don't think a lot of people are very confident in the direction, and all smoke screen. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all magic tricks. But I don't know what the real human story is and who's puffing their chest or whatever the case. But until I see different, I'm going to try to stay on the positive side and still try to say, "Hey, Chiefs, hey, Chris Jones, work it out, please. It's too good of a partnership to drop it." So that's all I'll say. I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna go. The season without Chris Jones is gonna look drastically different than it would with it. I've been one to argue to say that without him, there is no actual Super Bowl, because one elite player like that can be the difference. I love Patrick Mahomes. I've gone on record to say, yes, I believe I'm in every single game with Patrick Mahomes, and there's no reason I shouldn't think we will win. But that doesn't mean that I'm not still thinking that my team can lose. I think that's kind of a thing that's happened in the community recently is, oh, we have Patrick Mahomes, so literally nothing else matters in this entire world. But I don't think that way. And I think you are asking to lose if you continue to be like that. So I want the Chris Jones situation to be resolved, because if it's not, the Chiefs are in a world of trouble right now, and it seems like Chris Jones is going to try to make the Chiefs feel like they're in a world of trouble. So I'm gonna pivot off Chris Jones for a bit and talk about a few other Brett Veach comments that we heard. So one of them was of injury concerns. So we got Kadarius Toney, Jarius Sneed, and Nick Allegretti, the three players we thought would be possibly injured reserved to be the start of the season, especially Toney, having not seen him in any practice or game, and same for Jarius Sneed. Nick Allegretti injury was within the preseason, so maybe that's had time to heal up or whatnot. But Sneed and Toney have been dealing with injuries since training camp, and Brett Veach says that they're good to go. So, what does good to go mean versus game ready? I don't know. Will we only see like a quarter or even less than that of snaps from either Sneed or Toney, both being starters but being from injury? Probably. I'm one to think if the Chiefs are gonna always treat Kadarius Toney slightly different and not treat him as a regular wide receiver, all the snaps continuous the whole game, start to finish. And I'm not just saying that because of injury concerns, but I think in the way that his explosiveness pays off, it's in those short bursts where he's not in, and then the ball's going to him, and maybe even the defense knows the ball's going to him, and they're still, fearful. So we'll see how much Sneed and Toney end up playing next Thursday. But Veach says no IR for those two. Not what we would have thought, but again, just like the Chris Jones comment, is that a smokescreen or is that real? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna just talk about a few little topics here. So we got some former Chiefs being lost to some practice squads. Doris Fountain ends up on the Lions practice squad. So, see you in a week and see what kind of mystery spy work, espionage he ends up doing. And then we got Shane Buechele being a practice squad quarterback for Josh Allen. So maybe he'll tell Josh Allen all Patrick Mahomes' secrets. I don't know. Here, Josh, this is how you throw a ball behind your back and not end up in the other team's hands. All right. Lastly, I've got one more topic. that I'm going to bring up is especially the TJ Hawkinson contract and the talk that it's had about inciting Travis Kelce to want more money, or throwing it as a, see, this is Chris Jones, this is what, like, using this as an example. It's like I really wish people would stop saying, like, oh, Travis Kelce wants more money, because he is too team happy for that to be that way. And we got a special guest who I know is going to agree with me on this one.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
So, I just left off by saying that the TJ Hawkinson contract, oh yeah, the highest paid tight end, it's just going to incite a riot that Travis Kelce is going to want even more money because he deserves it. And yes, he deserves it, but when are we going to stop insisting that Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes need more money than they're getting?
Honestly, and I just went off about this like on Twitter just recently. And the first thing Diana Rossini, who's from The Athletic and is like a senior insider, she was talking about, if I'm Travis Kelce right now, I'm going to be like, I'm about to go hang out with Chris Jones for a little bit. That's just, I'm trying to find the right words, but I feel like that's ignorant in a way, because, it's getting tiring that everybody keep on trying to find these reasons for the Chiefs to like break apart.
And it feels like it feels like everyone is starting to hate on the success that we're having as a unit. So it just doesn't make sense to me what's going on. But what I like to tell people as well too, we have to remember that both of these guys have other business ventures outside of their own NFL contracts as well too. Pat, he's a co-owner with his wife with the organization that they have with the KC Current. He also has some ownership in the Royals as well too. He has multiple endorsement deals that totals up to a extreme amount of money on top of his contract that he has already. And then Travis Kelce, he might not be doing as much, but we've been seeing him in more commercials. His mom has been getting involved in a lot of things as well too. Him and his brother has one of the best podcasts out right now, so they're making more money on the side opposed to just playing in the NFL as well. And we're talking about millionaires who already have 50 million plus that they earn. So I just don't see why we want to keep on doing that. A lot of these guys now who are younger, they're setting the market for themselves, but we got to remember that Travis Kelce's 33 years old as well too. How long does he truly have after that? Now, I know he's willing to play probably until he's 40 if his health allows it. But still, the Chiefs is looking at it as an organization like, okay, I understand that we start becoming more successful in the later part of your career, but you're going to have something that you can tell your children, your family, as time goes about, you're going to be a future Hall of Famer. It's deeper than just making money.
And the Chiefs are going to do whatever they can to make sure that Travis retires as a Chief, no doubt about it. They're going to do whatever they can to make sure that Travis stays on this team up and through the end of his career, whenever that ends up being. He's too valuable to the team, and he's become so much of an image to the team. I mean, I know he didn't start being officially playing on the team until 2014, but it was essentially Andy Reid's here and Travis Kelce is here next to you. So I think essentially those two are going to be locked. I know the talk is Mahomes to Andy. Andy's not going to go until Mahomes goes, but I think it's Travis and Andy, and basically they're just riding their careers out together. And it will probably get to a point where Travis is like 40 years old and we're saying, why are we paying Travis Kelce $10 million? He doesn't deserve that at being this old. But it's like, that's a legacy contract. We were saying he didn't make enough 4 years ago, so he'll just make enough times.
Exactly. Yeah, it's rough. It's the media, but we know that's how it is nowadays. And not to just go for the media. I mean, we're part of the media as well too. But certain outlets depicting what it is. I feel people were criticizing Veach and the organization before a lot of this happened. Oh, now Mahomes is underpaid. Y'all was just talking about him being having a $500 million contract, and that was going to mess up going forward. Oh, now these other guys are taking less year, but they're getting more guaranteed. And now we're robbing Mahomes because we planning for the future. We knew he was going to be great. That's why we got him long term, 10-year deal. Be smart. Don't talk about the Chiefs as an organization cheating. Talk about how smart they were building a foundation right with the guy who has been to 5+ AFC championships that he hosted once he became a starter, been to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them, and has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Yeah, we did the right thing by giving him 10 years. All right.
Yep.
Let's not hate on it.
And he's that guy because he grew up in the sports world already. So he saw Tom Brady on TV. He saw his dad, and he's like, "Listen, the best thing for my life is sustainability and stability. And I go in, same place, do the same thing, and for 10, 15 years, I don't want to think about going to free agency. Like, I own this franchise. I am the franchise now. So."
Exactly.
It don't matter how much under 5-10 million or whatever Patrick Mahomes' yearly salary is. He makes that up plenty, and that's maybe the thing that a Joe Burrow or a Josh Allen or a Justin Herbert doesn't have as many avenues for. That we see it happen anyway, so we know they're getting that double income. I feel like most of the NFL now, all sports in general, it's not just I am an athlete and I do some other entertainment venture or a business or whatever the case. So these guys aren't just going to athletics to get rich. They're going in because they're good at it. They got the skill set for it. And then they apply that to other avenues that allow them to gain experience, learn, make more money in other avenues. So it's not just football, and that's not where all the money is.
Yep, I agree. And they had to take into account too that if you already Patrick Mahomes in his case, what we talked about his father, he was in the MLB. He already had that generational wealth. Even if he probably graduated and went to college, more than likely his family might have enough money now for them to still sustain success and him to have different business ventures as well too. Mm-hmm. So him becoming, an NFL player, the reason why he's not looking at the contract is because he already had that type of money before. Yes, his father had it, but he lived in that lifestyle. He understands it. So for him, it's not about, let me make as much money as I can before I retire. I can worry about winning championships and building a legacy and, having my name ring bells for, really until probably the end of this earth. Just because we know how sports is. And football, we're playing for it to go on forever. Mm-hmm. If I'm one of the greatest to ever do it, I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm going to be considered a GOAT, probably like Michael Jordan or Tom Brady, who is considered that right now. Mm-hmm. I'm fine. I'm going to have longevity and success due to the fact that my name ring bells everywhere it goes. Yep. Oh, Patrick, can you come out and do this? Oh, Patrick, can you come out and do that? Yeah, he's not tripping off of that. And I mean, in Travis Kelce case, though, I know we went over that, but when you look at his personality, you see he just cares about having fun, go out there, play great ball. He's winning championships. And what he's doing himself on top of that is pretty much he's just going out there and he's doing his own thing. So I don't think he's worried as much as people think, to be honest.
Yep. I think it's just trying to make a story out of it. A player I think is really good isn't the highest paid, so there's got to be a problem with the NFL. I mean, that's how all of sports has been changing. Whoever's the newest and the quote best at the time. They're going to get the most money, even if it looks ridiculous in hindsight. But even now, like some role player in the NBA still has way more money than a franchise NFL player will make in their contract too. So just making stories out of nothing.
Pretty much. That's pretty much it. Man, that's pretty much it. But
Since you're here, I wanted to get your opinion on the Brett Veach, Chris Jones comments saying that they've talked more and that supposedly he could be ready for week 1, which is exactly 7 days from now.
He could be just. I think he's doing right as a GM. Just not putting Chris Jones' business out there because people want to know what's the number. He probably really has been talking to them every day because if this is the only contract dispute that they have, they've been in connection every day. I think he's as someone who is representing the organization in this sense, talking to Chris Jones about this. I think he just let us know like, yeah, we have a relationship to where he does love Kansas City. He missed OTAs, he missed camp, he missed all of that because we have to remember for himself that he's just trying to have a long-term deal.
Yep. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I can't hear you anymore. Wait for you to come back. But yeah, that was pretty much my comments too, that he was kind of just playing the nice guy, saying the right things, not wanting to, upset the Chris Jones camp or to let people in the kingdom believe that, oh yeah, things are bad, ties are severed. There's no going back from this. So yeah, if he wasn't going to be able to work this out with the team, I would have thought that Brett Veach would have figured that out months ago when a deadline is, right? But alas, as we all know, we are still in this same predicament that we've been in for several months now. Where's Chris Jones? I don't know where he is. He's not here. So we'll just have to wait and see, unfortunately. Thankfully, like I said in the earlier part, if it was so so basically I'm saying that it's kind of a wishy-washy, just trying to save face comment, but the fact that we haven't heard that there's an issue or he's asking for way, way, way too much, and that this came out like months ago, like around draft time when it would have been relevant. The fact that there's been kind of essentially radio silence from both sides, besides the, I think he wants this much. I think the Chiefs are only asking for this much. We haven't really heard an official from either side. So I think that's maybe one of the reasons why I try to stay a little more optimistic, is because we haven't literally heard either side say, this ain't going to work. We just suck it up and deal with it. Still trying to act, let's get this done. I know we're in a crappy situation because you agreed to pay me this much and I want you to pay me $10 million more than this, but it's not going to count this year, so you can get money back. And just like a bunch of moving money scenarios. And if you're the player, you're like, I don't care. The money's mine. It's right here. It's ready to pay to me. Set that up.
Yeah. Everybody hear me straight now, right?
I hear you. You good?
Okay, great. Yeah. So where I was leaving off at, I think you just hit it on the nose, though. That's pretty much what I was going to say. I think both sides understand what's going on.
they're trying to be respectful about it. I know people might be irritated with the things that Chris Jones might post. However, I mean, it's just entertainment at the end of the day. This is the sports entertainment world, even
Mm-hmm.
though NFL is unlike the WWE. At the same time, these guys can be characters at moments. But,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's just trying to keep it going. I think he's trying to keep us invested. And we may be used as a leverage tool of saying like, "Hey, we need Chris Jones. We need him on the team right now.
Yep.
Please go sign him." It feels like it. It makes it feel like that he probably feels like it makes the organization have pressure on them to like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yeah, y'all need to sign me. I'm respected here in the kingdom. They want me. I do my job. I do my part." But at the end of the day, when it all comes down to that, I just like how Brett Beast approached it.
Mm-hmm.
We see how the owner is having troubles with Jonathan Taylor over there with the Colts, and that's the owner, not the
Mm-hmm.
GM. You're talking about, uh, this organization will move on even if you and JT wasn't there at the moment. That's not what you say in terms of when you having contract disputes with one of your best players on the team.
Mm-hmm.
You make it to you put it to where you letting them know like, hey, I respect your opinion on it. I understand that you're doing what's best for you. Uh, and I'm not going to go out there and attack you. But honestly, I think people are just trying to get that number that he's asking for, and he's not going to give it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we're in a ballpark of what it is. Because if you're talking about Aaron Donald money, then yeah, it's around the range of averaging 30 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
However, we don't know exactly. It could be just total guarantees. It could
Mm-hmm.
be, what the signing bonus is going to be. It could just be all that little, just all those other factors that may matter that we don't know about. And that's
True.
why when it comes to like contract talks, I stay out of it because I don't know how it should be done. I don't know how it's going to affect the cap. I feel like the numbers is made up sometimes. How did you come? How did somebody who's going to make 20 million a year only going to cost against the cap for 5 million? I don't
Right.
know those numbers.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know those numbers.
How did the Chiefs turn $177 in cap space to signing Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes to long-term extensions and getting money back from the transaction? I don't.
Exactly.
Math is
Exactly.
weird in the NFL. Cash is
It
the only
is.
thing that's real, it seems.
Yes.
That's the only thing you
Yes.
can't jump away from. So
Yeah.
I wonder if a lot of it comes down to Chris Jones seeing Aaron Donald money and saying, I need to reach that. But what people aren't understanding is he's not going to get all that money. There are so many void years on Aaron Donald's contract for the highest number year that he's not going to get. Same for Tyreek Hill. His peak years, 30 million. He's not going to make that. He's not. It's just to show off that I got paid. Look how I got paid. And then the year before that, the team's going to say, hey, we agreed to this, but, we can't afford anybody else but you. So forced to take a cut. So it's all fake anyway. So the Chiefs have never done something like this. And I think maybe the conversation is whether or not they're willing to for something like this just to make Chris Jones happy to say, yes, look at me. I am on this level and I am paid as such.
We were irritated about the other years before though, where we were overpaying people. We
Yes.
overpaid. We were complaining about overpaying Frank Clark. Let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
before that. Justin Houston, them, even though he's worth the money, but his time and his injuries was like, okay, he wasn't worth the contract. Eric
Mm-hmm.
Berry, we all love Eric Berry. He's a staple in Chiefs Kingdom, but he dealt with some of those issues with injuries well too. Not
Yep.
just cancer. We had to respect the cancer, but he had other injuries that lingered also beyond that. Who else? We overpaid a lot of guys that we were angry about, and this is something like um with Dorsey when we had him before. He was great with finding talent. He was awesome. He was bad at getting contracts.
Yep.
We were never able to really sustain a working roster due to the fact that we were paying money to other guys who
Mm-hmm.
weren't even active as much. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why you see the Chiefs now with a lot of these 1 year deals, or you picking someone who's not going to cost that much, but they're probably not considered elite talent as others, but they're going to be able to complete the task that you're asking them to do, which is why
Mm-hmm.
you're going with them instead. It may not be as pretty, but are they effective? Are they getting the job done? Are they
Yep.
following what the scheme is telling them to do? That's all that
Mm-hmm.
matters. That's what Kansas City is looking at. That's why they take. That's why they want their draft picks and they feed on it because they can build them into what they want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. So
Do you think that this situation, because there's the talk around it has been, if you're not going to pay Chris Jones the money he deserves, who are you going to pay? This money was supposed to be for Chris Jones, so if you're not going to pay him, are you going to pay L'Jarius Sneed? Are you going to pay Nick Bolton? Are you going to pay Trey Smith? Are you going to pay
you're not
Creed
going to
Humphrey?
pay everybody.
But
You're
the
not
way
gonna
they
pay
make it
everybody.
sound, if you're not going to pay the top guy, then they're not going to pay you at all. I mean, is this the first time that we'll actually pay market value for a starting center?
No. Well, probably for Creed. I think he's gonna. I think we see that they paid for Joe Tooney, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think they're all for paying people on the line that's going to be able to protect Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
But my main argument has been as well too is we keep on saying, oh, if we don't pay Chris Jones, we're not going to be able to pay Creed, Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, L'Jarius Sneed. You just named 4 players who might be able to reach their market value for the team. So who are you picking out of those guys? That means you're not paying everybody based off his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So you're losing either way. So are you willing to take a risk on Chris Jones and then sign a couple of those guys and let some of them walk, or you're willing to lose Chris Jones and try to sign some of those guys that we said they should sign if we don't pay
Mm-hmm.
them? It's going to be a decision either way. So let the organization do what they want to do. I'm going to give my opinion of who I want.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you right now, I do view Bolton as our Derek Johnson, and I feel like he could be a staple on that defense.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like the defense at the end of the day is going to be built around a star defensive lineman, an edge rusher, or
Mm-hmm.
someone, or even an interior guy who's causing damage as well too, who can
Mm-hmm.
get pressure from the inside, but also phenomenal in run defense as well too. I think it starts there because what's going to happen is that helps those corners or those the defensive backs as well too, because they're going up against the fastest guys in the world every day,
Mm-hmm.
and we got to make sure that we don't put them in a hole of where they're not able to really do their job. So we want to put pressure on the opposing quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Like,
I
how
don't know if
much
it's
of last
Ray.
year was Chris Jones making
Yeah,
Jalen Watson look good? Or is
exactly.
Jalen Watson really that good? It's like we're going to find out week
We
1.
saw who he was running with
Yep.
in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, we
it's a
haven't
lot to
seen
do.
Sneed at all in the whole preseason, but supposedly he's all good to go. No IR for him. But I doubt we're going to see very much of him or Tony in week 1, maybe
Yeah.
quarter of the snaps, if that.
I always said that L'Jarius might be a guy that we lose in free agency anyway, just
Mm-hmm.
because lately the Chiefs haven't been big on paying defensive backs. The only guys we honestly been given a contract to, like longevity wise, were safeties.
Free
All
agent
those other
safeties,
guys,
too.
yeah,
Not even guys who are already on the team.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it depends on how they look at the defense and where they feel like the importance of it come from. And it looks like they feel like that's within the front 4 or the front 7, including the linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive backs, they feel like they can they can plug those guys in and be able to sustain that success. Because I mean, you won 2 Super Bowls off of it as well too. It's not like we had a Jalen Ramsey or a Xavier Howard or even some of the top guys that are in the league right now. But hey, we were able to get it done. So that's all that
Mm-hmm.
matters. So that's how I feel about it.
I think some talk has been, are the Chiefs willing to break molds and pay for positions they haven't paid for before just because
Hmm.
they haven't found the right guy? Or do they just decide we are not going to pay this position this money, regardless of who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Travarius Ward. Doesn't matter if it's L'Jarius Sneed. It doesn't matter. You could be the best on our team at this position. Yeah, you're still not quite good enough to make the market contract. We'll see about Nick Bolton. I mean, we paid Anthony Hitchens a so-so contract, but the bad part was how long we wanted to pay him for. So, and maybe Brett Veach is overcorrecting there, deciding I can't bother to spend money at the linebacker. I'll just keep throwing a second-round pick at him over and over again, like a running back.
Yep.
And that sucks from a fan perspective because you like loyalty and stability. You like to be able to buy a guy's jersey and know he's going to be on the field next year, the year after that. So
I'll say, I mean, you'd rather have that. Your opinion throughout all the years, all our bad years. What was the common denominator of the position we felt that we were lacking to get us to the Super Bowl?
Oh, well, definitely the quarterback.
All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. You got him right there. Let it go. I understand we want to see the Justin Jeffersons. We want to see the Jamar Chases, the Stephon Diggs. But we better hope we draft one. Because what's important is having a quarterback that's able to really work with whatever weapons that he has out there. So I gave it up. I just like I like watching highlights of those other guys as well too. I like to entertain it as well when it comes to the offseason. Like, they're leaking them to the Chiefs. We know why they're leaking them to the Chiefs. They're leaking themselves to the Chiefs just because, hey,
I want to win. I want to win.
Yeah, I want to win, right? But if he goes over there, let me offer him something so he don't have to go. Next thing you know, you overpaid. Thank you. That's all I wanted. We can win with y'all too. I'm definitely gonna play my heart out, and whatever you have surrounded by that, we can do it together, get to the Super Bowl. But in that sense, I mean, with the DeAndre Hopkins situation, I do think he really did want to come over to Kansas City. I think he was trying to see what the contract for Chris Jones would have been like to open up the cap space and see what the Chiefs would have offered. That's the only one I believe actually had real interest because he could have signed with the Titans already offered what they offered and the Patriots as well too. So for him to wait those extra couple weeks and he had good business with them as well too, it's like why you didn't take the money already? No, you was waiting. You were willing to do a 1-year deal for like a certain amount of money and then go get a Super Bowl. I really strongly feel he wanted that. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, if you sign for the Chiefs at this point, you're like, I'm just hoping to show out and get that bigger paycheck next off season, and hopefully do that with a championship ring on. It makes my resume look better than it did.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, we got some comments now. So, Shane Buechele was our future quarterback, and we blew it. Like New England getting rid of Jimmy G. I don't think Shane Buechele was ever going to beat out Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think we're going to see Patrick Mahomes get old age.
Clinton, don't entertain him. Clinton, don't entertain him. Don't entertain him right there. That's my boy Ken stuff. He's been doing this all week, I swear. He loves, like, he knows he's a backup, but he likes giving us a hard time. But I guess he can have fun in Buffalo. I don't know how much I guess he can learn how to run the ball more with Josh Allen. I think he learned everything he needs to know when it comes to passing with Patrick Mahomes. True, in my opinion. So
we'll see who's the best like film studier after this too.
Yeah, right. So it's fun, but Shane, and I thought we would have brought him back to the practice squad. So I wondered if the release was more so for his own personal experience, for him to actually be a part of an active 53-man roster, because they may have feel he showed enough to actually sustain that role there with someone else. But we know the Chiefs love we know the Chiefs love their veteran QBs being backups.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it was a win for Blaine Gabbert. And if I'm not mistaken, he should be on that 53-man roster, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Only have 2
So
quarterbacks.
yeah, what we saw from him, and he was running with the twos and as well. But some of those guys will be starters eventually. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
they feel they've seen enough. But the way he was throwing the ball, the way he was getting it downfield, we got to remember that Andy Reid, he knows that Patrick Mahomes is in his own field, his own little world, and he has
Mm-hmm.
something, worked out for him when it comes to the scheme. But I think you said it on the last stream. With his backup quarterbacks, he need guys who's going to fit the scheme that he's working with that for that game if Patrick Mahomes is out. And we know
Mm-hmm.
that he has it, scripted out for them as well too. So will
Yep.
you be able to follow the script?
Mm-hmm.
Blaine Gabbert will follow that script. And
Yep.
Shane Buechele, he has some Patrick Mahomes moments as well too. So I understand why you feel like, he matches what you have with your starting quarterback, where you can keep the same play calls going, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe it comes to a point when you're doing against first stringers, guys who are well experienced, opposed to the guys you've been going against in postseason. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, you're not going to do what Pat does because he's on a different level.
Nope.
He's right here, and then a lot
Yep.
of guys is right underneath, right here. So
Yep.
gotta watch what we're doing.
We got our guy. We don't have to question if we have our guy now. We don't have to question, is Tyler Palko our guy? What 4th round pick out of Iowa did we pick as our starting quarterback this year? We don't have to deal with that. We've got our guy, and we're never going to talk about anybody else than him for the next at least 15 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, he can teach all Josh Allen the throws, how to throw it behind his back and actually get into a receiver's hands instead of just behind you as a fumble. So
Yeah.
maybe you can teach him how to do that. I saw that Darius Fountain made it on the Lions practice squad, so they're gonna give up all the wide receiver juice before next week's game.
He's not gonna be able to tell him much because he wasn't even here. He was here last season. All right, it was times he was on the active roster as well too. So, But a lot of people say that all the time. They pick up players a week before, probably have a better scout for that week. However, I don't think the Lions is going to have enough still. I'm very confident. I do see us pulling off a big win, even in the absence of Chris Jones, just because I feel this team is starting to starting to build that mode of having that dynasty-like presence. And I don't think really anything is going to hold them back unless our guy Pat is not out there, to be honest. So I feel we're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. But Darius Fountain going over to the Lions don't mean much. He's not going to be out there anyway.
Yep.
They're dealing with some suspensions as well too from like the gambling from the off season. Because I was excited to see Jameson Williams. I was excited to see him. And that's something that that's someone I knew we all wanted to get as well too in the draft. And we saw him dressed in all red as well too. He's from St. Louis, so I was excited to see him and see how he came out. But I don't think they will have much. I think they got some weapons. So they got Gibbs.
They got a really good offensive line. So
they got a decent offensive line as well too.
The talk is that this might be a Rams shootout type game, especially without Chris Jones. I was going to ask, do you see it more of a shot-for-shot touchdown fest into the 40s? Or do you feel that the Chiefs play more of we're going to play a little more possessional, we're going to milk the clock in the right way and take the right opportunity and then score?
I think they're going to try. I think they're going to try and wrap it up quick. I think they're going to try to go out there, put some points out, make it a show. But once it gets to a point where we have dominated the game, of course, you know that we kind of bring it down, we simmer down a little bit, and that's when I think he'll be focused more on positional football than
Mm-hmm.
possessional football, excuse me, where he's just going down the field, utilizing his running backs, just extending the drive, getting first downs, just help kill the clock to the sense of
Mm-hmm.
where we can get out of there quick. But I do think they're going to try to come out, uh, have put out a great outing for opening night, and
Mm-hmm.
also, of course, the banner drop as well too. So we don't want to be one of those teams who go out there, win the Super Bowl, and lose,
We don't
right?
want to be
So I
2017
think,
Patriots with
yeah,
the Chiefs coming to town, whoop them,
yeah,
their banner
exactly,
open.
exactly. So
Hopefully, I
that's
didn't
how
just
I feel about
speak that into existence the other way.
it. Yeah, right, right.
But like I could see that, but we know Andy Reid has the tendency to, you know, take his foot off the neck and not go for the killing blow.
Hmm.
And if a team is a really good offense, and our defense at times can be very uh, explosive, but then they could also totally collapse another drive. It's not very consistent
Yeah,
about who's winning every snap, every drive. So there could be a tendency that if we're up 21-0, he assumes that's it. And it's like, you can't assume that. This is the
yeah,
NFL. So
yeah,
that's been my thing with Andy Reid is we want him to just kill a team 40-7. But there's something in him that doesn't want that to happen, or doesn't want to like be rude or face the consequences from that. But I don't want to lose the game, so I don't care about those feelings.
yeah. Well, I think it was more of like a sportsmanship thing where he doesn't. Yeah, it's more so in that realm. I honestly I don't get. Sometimes I don't get that philosophy, because at the end of the day, you know, we're playing football. I mean, if you're allowing me to score, you're allowing me to put up points,
Yep.
that's what we do. It's not like we're in high school or we're playing little league to where we're up 56-0 and we're just gonna call the game.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
we're professionals. You might need that little whooping to make wake you up for your season going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw who was it? I mean, yeah, we saw last year the Thanksgiving game with the Vikings and the Cowboys, right? Where they lost, where the Cowboys beat them 40-3, just flat out killed them. So it's like I like those games to a sense, just because it's like, hey man, like you need to wake up. We need to wake up. We're
Mm-hmm.
not playing to the best of our ability. Let put it on me so I know. I mean, of course, don't put it on me. I'm gonna try my best. Hey, we're gonna try to win the game, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's something that's the end of the world if that was to happen. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's all.
I know from like older generations, the lining up to take a knee or just trying to end the game is insulting. Like, hell no, you're gonna beat me this whole time. I'm still trying. Don't show me it looks like you're not trying anymore. That's gonna piss me off even more.
Right. Right. So I mean, but of course they're gonna do that because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you want me to keep on playing, but it's 27-24, 30 seconds left, and I'm trying to run the ball and we fumble, or I try to throw the ball, we get an interception. I just lost the game by trying to stay competitive with you at that moment, knowing that anything can happen with a turnover and can switch it over. Now, in situations like that, that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But you may be referring to like, hey, 40-3 or something in that realm. We're still trying to get reps in. All right, we're
Yep.
still trying to get some work in still. So, but yeah, that's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, dude. We reached an hour straight, so I think we put up a hell of a conversation, or at least I did to myself slowly for like the first
for
20
for a
minutes.
while.
And then it kicked in. It was actually a flowing conversation. Just me, Chris Jones, he's not here.
Right.
That sucks. I hope he
Man,
does.
Man. Well, I really we got 7 days. 6 to be honest. Honestly, we need an answer by Monday.
Right. I thought the
At
whole
least.
talk was that it had to be Tuesday of this week because otherwise he physically can't even ramp up or whatever for actual week 1. So I guess I didn't know that he could legitimately make it off the did not report list and still be eligible for week 1 on Thursday if it, prayers trying to manifest that to happen. I just didn't know that was an occurrence. I assumed by that point he kind of forfeited each week before, saying I'm not going to be here next week.
Yeah.
Deal.
I think it's a couple. I think if anything, it might be Tuesday next week or so, or could be Wednesday the day before the game. But either way it goes, whatever happens, I think they're gonna slowly put him in and have him progress because we know you've been working in the off season, you've been doing your workouts and doing everything like that. But it's just at the same time we don't know what was new added. We don't know what's new that was implemented into the scheme, and you may need to work on that a little bit more. And we've been having other guys work on that in your absence. So, and then as well, preseason help you get up to game speed as well too, getting the feel of being out there for the full. I mean, even though you're not playing the full 60 minutes, but you're getting adapted into just being out there running with them shoulder pads on, getting attacked, going body to body with other players. It just allows you to do that, and you haven't experienced that yet. So you got to keep that in mind, and they're gonna have to slowly work him into it. So either way it goes. I'm sure in crunch time they'll have him in there regardless if it came to that. But if they don't have to, they're not going to. And we know how Andy Reid is about that. So
yeah, makes sense. I don't know. I'm still staying afraid that it could be a October, November appearance for Chris Jones. But
week 8.
I mean, I talked earlier and I said I don't even see the logic here because the Chiefs are still in a position to franchise tag you next year and dictate your future regardless. And I mentioned that TJ Hawkinson got his contract because he did a hold in. He's like, I ain't practicing. I got an ear infection or whatever the case. But he's like, I'm around the team. I'm here, but I ain't getting on the field. But this is making it seem like, Chris Jones doesn't want to play football. And I know that's not the narrative, but that's how it's being portrayed because of his actions.
And like you said, with the cap, with the cap hit lowering on his franchise tag, if he doesn't play, if I was him, I would have been playing already and staying active and into it just because right now the Chiefs won't want to tag him if he was at $33.5 million. For that franchise tag, they're going to try to get the deal done because we're going to be paying more than what he wanted annually. So that just wouldn't make sense. So you would have had the leverage right there on your part where if they was a franchise tag you, they would have to find a home for you to go. And then you'll work with your contract with them who's willing to do that and everything like that and go from there. But obviously you're not in that position now. So maybe he did that on purpose because he really do want to stay with the Kansas City Chiefs. And he was like, I'm going to take that franchise. I'm not going to take that for next year anyway. So
that's been my thing the whole time is Chris Jones wants to be here. He doesn't want to go anywhere else, but he also is not going to take anything less than what he thinks he's valued at. And he makes that clear, but he's also saying I'm not trying to go anywhere. I'll troll some fans. Or I'll pretend I'm going to wear black and silver, but I told you and team I want to retire a Chief. So if the team doesn't want to get that done with me, then you have to decide who the blame is on. And all the attention is going on Chris Jones because he's trying to get the attention where the Chiefs are trying to keep all this under wraps. So unfortunately, we're not going to know anything until it's resolved. And then all the speculation of that extension was in the works the whole time, or we should have seen the writing on the walls, but we're going to have to wait a while before we see the results. So my heart attack will have to continue into tomorrow. Let's see what new evidence Chris Jones wants to put.
And we'll see. We'll see.
Hopefully his agents will be getting some Joe's Barbecue again, or maybe they'll mix it up, go to Jack Stack or a Q39 on the way instead. That clearly Joe's wasn't getting it.
They need to get yelled at. Go to Gates. How may I help you? You need to get the Chris Jones deal done now.
That's right. Oh my God. Hey, what are you guys stupid? You guys are making Chris Jones lose money. Does that seem smart to you? just tear him down.
They gonna say it too. They're going to say it. Hey, you good? Don't let Brett Beats go in there too. How may I help you? Hey, what's going on with Chris Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Need that done right now.
Why are you here? Go back to your office.
Don't come for no food. Go worry about getting that contract done, then come get some food.
Get the Katz brothers on the phone, and I will shut down the whole lobby, and you guys are getting it done here, and we're locking the door, and no one's getting out until it's solved.
Exactly. May need to be done like that. Probably so.
Well, so maybe that's why Chris Jones has decided to distance himself, is because he knows that will kick in, and his agents are maybe saying, hey, no, we got to stay the professional. Don't make this a family. It's a business, and et cetera, et cetera. So maybe that's the sole doing of his agents wanting this distance.
I mean, they got to make the money too. They got to make their money too. They get a percentage of the contract. So it's like, I need to give you the best deal so I can get the best deal out of it as well too. And I think that's what happened with the Tyreek Hill situation as well. Even though I think he already wanted to go to Miami, and because he loved being out there already, he was going out there to vacation anyway. A lot of players who play here, they go have vacation homes anyway, because you know how Kansas City is. We're a Midwestern town. A lot of people think we're country, but you gotta implement nightlife and all that other stuff in it as well too. And they want to be out there outside of the season. And along with that, it's like you gotta think about it. His agent too. I keep on forgetting his name.
Chris Jones or Tyreek's?
Tyreek.
Drew Rosenhaus.
Yeah, you know how famous he is about getting contracts done. He's always on people's podcasts. He comes on to like those shows like First Take and Undisputed, all of those. He doesn't play. He's going to make sure his clients get the best deal. And he was texting Tyreek throughout the whole time saying like, yeah, I see how they did that, putting it in his head. Yeah, because I mean, we can't hate on it because you got to do what's best for your business as well too.
True. So, I mean, if you're an agent, that's what success is going to look like. I got my guy this much money, so I can get you that much money too. But they didn't care about the circumstances. Would Tyreek have wanted that money from Kansas City more than Miami? You bet he did, but the money wasn't available here. So if Chris Jones wants to stay here, then the money should even itself out, unless he and his agents are hard sticking at a number, and a la the Chiefs are not going to satisfy that number, and
they might be sticking to a number. They might be sticking to a number and be like, "Hey, get to this number, and then we can start discussing this other stuff as well too." Who knows, man? Who knows? But it's kind of like at this point, with the season starting, I know that they're probably getting drained with it as well too. Hopefully, they can come to an understanding of like, "Hey, man, let's just come out week one. We can constantly work with your agents while we are within the season as well too." But I understand, because you want to make sure you get your money before they try to, how can I say it, try to use that against you while the season's going on. Like, hey, you see you were lacking in this game. Why should we give you this 30 mil or whatever it is that you're looking for? You're not even meeting those expectations. But while we was on here, I mean, I guess before we get out, it looks like the Chiefs signed some more guys to their practice squad. It looks like Montreal
Washington. I saw that Taylor was like I saw the Montreal Washington. And that was like some insider tweets that the Chiefs didn't officially include on their list that they tweeted out yesterday that I used my breakdown video. And they also didn't have their tight end that they picked up from the Jaguars practice squad, Garrett Prince. So I threw his name in there too. I had Montreal Washington listed, but I guess I took it out because I thought the Chiefs would make it official. And they had Matt Dickerson make their 53 and then like 6 hours later claim Darius Rush and send him down. So and that's apparently a rarity. You've never seen a player go from active roster cut after the 53 to just go straight to practice squad. So had to have been some sort of negotiated thing.
I feel like they probably will win that trade for like Neil Farrell. They probably was like he probably fits the scheme a lot better, seeing how disruptive he was throughout the preseason. And I think they like what they saw from Matt Dickerson, but it's like, oh, okay. We'll rather prefer him, but it's a chance with what's going on this season as well too. Let's move you to practice squad. You at some point you should be elevated up, and you'll be a part of it as well too. So you know, it can happen.
So they must have liked Farrell and Darius Rush to a degree to add them to their main roster this year, and that's pretty fast for Las Vegas to give up on him 1 year later, 4th for a 6th. But I guess it's not as bad as the Trey Lance situation that just happened.
They gave up too much. That's all. They gave up too much.
They sold themselves on a dream and were back and forth on who they wanted, and either way they chose wrong.
Patrick Mahomes effect. You see that slight athleticism or crazy anomaly type of skill that person have, and then you hone on to that, and then when it doesn't work out at the level that you expected to work out, now look, you put yourself in a position like that. So that's how it can be, and that's how I see it.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited. For next week. I'm pumped. Chiefs been hyping. They're gonna do some pre-game stuff, so I'll try to check out what that's.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna mention last Saturday when they were playing the videos and like get ready for Chiefs King and welcome to Arrowhead, those type of videos. No Chris Jones in any of those. And he used to be, the staple in Sack Nation and Big Mac for sacks. They didn't show him this time. So I don't know if that's like a rational decision or just, not entertaining it until it's resolved. But
yeah, I think it was one of those like with what's going on right now. Let's not do that because they got to prepare themselves as well too. Say if you end up wanting to leave. And we created these, videos for this moment, and you're not gonna be here no more. It's just who knows, but I think it was probably just situational at that time. Seeing how it was, just situational. Like, let's stay away from that.
Right? I think fans want to like think deeper than something. It's like, they want to show him because he's not there. Not like they secretly aren't going to keep Chris Jones and they want to make us already be mentally prepared and to not freak. Or I didn't see Chris Jones. What? Is he not here anymore? Like having other people make assumptions.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, that's how I see it though. That's how I see it. But I gotta get back. It was fun hanging out for the time that I came on here and hung out.
Yep.
I don't know how long you're gonna be on here after this, Clinton. We're gonna be on here a little bit more, a little bit longer.
I'll probably kill a couple more minutes and then send everybody home. I do want to essentially have more than one of these a day if I can help it, because I think if we're not legitimately recording an episode of a podcast, I feel like another show that's pretty much this, but like a after hour kind of show, which is this, but maybe we're not as filtered with our opinions, or the language ain't quite the same. But I got to pick the right time of the afternoon. I might end up doing this like an hour or two earlier the next time, see if I get some more straggler viewers.
Oh yeah, for sure. God, we got my guy that came through already, so that's that.
Thanks for getting us a live viewer. We'll check out how the recording of this on the other platforms do of the hour and 20 minutes that we did. I love streaming because it zooms by. The first like 5 minutes is like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. And then you just roll on. You're like, I just missed 3 hours of work. Whoops.
Yeah. Right. Right. But yeah, let me get back to work. Everybody, remember, follow us on all our social media platforms, Red Kingdom Media, man. Make sure you follow us on our social medias as well, too. Man, I love it. I love Chiefs Kingdom.
Me too,
I'm
bro.
having a great time with it, man. I'm having a great time. But I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one, all right? Have
All
fun.
right. Peace out, Dale.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We had a doozy of a show. We kept Dale way longer than he was expecting. So let's see how much trouble we got him in by the end of this. I'll check my messages in the 30 minutes and see if he got reprimanded in any way. But guys, had way more fun than I thought I was going to start this. Beginning of it was a little washy, little nervous, but now that we get going, like I said, time just flies by when you're having fun, talking about football with your friends, triple Fs. So I think we about covered everything I wanted to talk about and then way more. So I am satisfied ending this hangout session with you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate, your trusted source for all things Chiefs. Red Kingdom Media.